Attention bookworms, this one's for you. Multi-awarded Filipino authors Sarge Lacuesta and Mookie Katigbak-Lacuesta are back with new books published by international Penguin Random House Southeast Asia. Mookie goes back to her roots with Assembling Alice, while Sarge tackles identity, relationships, loneliness, and loss in the lives of contemporary Filipinos in his first novel, Joy. Now, the husband and wife tandem join us now here on New Day. Good morning, Sarge and Mookie. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your latest works of art.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for making time, guys. Now, how does it feel to publish a book under an international publishing house? All credit to our local publishers, but it must be a bit of a thrill to see, your name next to that orange oval with that penguin. It must be thrilling.
Yes, it's actually very thrilling, and the experience was really new to us. They certainly did things differently and held their hands through the entire process. So it was a new experience.
Yeah, for me, I like to think that it's an opportunity for a wider audience. But the thrill for me, well, it's a thrill to come up with a book, no matter who publishes it or where it's published. So, but the thrill is maybe more people will read it outside of our country.
Yeah, how important is that for the Filipino literature scene, for novelists like yourselves, to actually be able to open up what we have to offer to a much larger world stage, or at the very least a regional stage, a world stage, really?
I think culture speaks a lot about a nation, and it certainly is a very important part of a nation's image across the globe. No? But also our artistry and our literature. It's very important that we are recognized, in terms of our identity and in terms of what we are as a nation.
That's cool. All right, Sarge, let's talk about your novels. You're known really primarily for your short stories, and this is actually your first novel, if I'm correct. Tell us about the story of Joy, and where did you draw the inspiration to come up with this?
Actually, I was drawn by inspiration. I was inspired by the story of a friend. His name is King Palisok. He's the film director, and his father kasi wrote a great song that won a prize, and the prize was he would go to the US, all expenses paid, and the rest is just my, what I would do probably if I won that prize, bad thing.
All right, it's a very interesting story from what I'm reading about the synopsis. I haven't had a chance to look through it. I'm looking forward to that, however. Mookie, you're known for your poetry collections, and this is something different. Assembling Alice is closer to your heart. It tells a story of your maternal grandmother, Commonwealth years, if I'm correct, just after the war. This sounds like a very, a story that one that you won't be able to put down. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I never met my grandmother, but she was a journalist and a pianist who lived really during interesting times in our history.
Yeah.
So she grew up during the Commonwealth period, and she went through the Japanese occupation and World War II and survived everything. And although she did go down in history as a top journalist, she did foster an entire generation of female journalists who made their debuts in a magazine that she edited called the Filipino Home Companion. So you're right, it is a story that's very close to my heart. And I think it's a story that also deserves to be read.
Right, and I think that really does sort of tie in very well with what Sarge was talking about. It really does sort of paint a picture of who we are, what our identity is, and where we stand in terms of sharing those stories with the entire world. Now, I've already asked you guys where you guys draw inspiration from, particularly for these two stories or books in particular. But has your process changed over the years? Being married to another writer, does that make it easier, harder? Do you bounce ideas off each other? Are you guys your biggest critics? Has it helped, or has it?
We still can't
what's it like living with another writer?
Although, Sarge started writing poetry, and this is really my prose debut. So, in a sense, our styles, our genres really just bleed into each other. So, and he's my first reader and my toughest critic, and I really listen to his advice when writing. And I hope he feels the same way too.
I just
That's your cue,
do
Sarge.
whatever he tells me to. Yeah.
Well, it's been several years since this great union, and it looks like it has come out or brought out the best in both of you with these two new titles. Congratulations, being published regionally, internationally, and really sort of like I said, or like Sarge said, sharing the stories of what the Filipino identity is all about on the world stage. Please continue doing what you guys do. Thank you so much, Sarge and Mookie, for joining us right here on a new day.
Have a good day.